Shadam quiz about the bend. Yeah. This is the Oko Kaz ye. Ukraine Russian Ekunto continue actually to bend. But we pray for better days. Yeah.
Better days will come. Better days will surely come.
Sure.
It's your 81st birthday today, Mr. David Kaku Asare. Mr. David Kaku Asare. Or Kikamo Elembele municipality in the western region. In the Mr. David Kaku Asare of Kekam. You are 81 years old today. Happy birthday to you, and do have a good one. I pray that you live to be 94.7 and beyond. This is from your son Aaron Asare, and Osei Emfa special dedication way Emfa. And I'm told you listen to Ekosiisen regularly. In Mr. David Kaku Asare, happy 81st birthday to you. Live to be 94.7 and beyond. Honorable Stephen Amoa, Akwaba, Bibia Bokode.
Yeah, near Mpacho, Nyanko Pado.
Na inshaye so boko adom ya
nyame adom kakra
inshaye so boko
kakra na nse matutu kwan bi ato aso kakra nti ama I need to go there
so constituency
and answer parliament so committees am also doors finance committee win me ya
eno kwa ya adwuma
so
but apart from finance so sign we
privileges yeah you have privileges you see
okay
is more lands and
natural resources and also our finance can hey
anyway we
are you and you
oh so
sometimes you see let me ask you to say obiaka say you do akọ board so
yes
board
independent board from
board board be any organ how obekọ one meet sitting at you have 10,000 me ni sa even 5,000 in your show.
5,000 the people are sending out.
Now, me sitting, no. So I'm just sitting. You're gonna a week. You're gonna a month.
Oh yeah, minimum.
About 4 times a year.
Maybe I want chairman.
No, I'm emergency. I'm saying emergency.
Yeah, to me create emergencies too.
For emergency 4 account, 8 times a year.
Yes.
Until we know what you're saying. What they're saving like 10,000 per, which is not.
That's 800 million. Way more than
80,000.
That's 800 million.
Boss, you can't create. I'm praying that one day at it. One day from
yes.
Obaba MP. No one who say how much does he even spend a week?
Oh.
No, I did be bra.
No, I agree. No, they're on daily basis there. No, I agree.
But open we say MP special MP sir. Constituencies in what sabe urban areas in the hospital.
Yeah.
Papa.
Yeah.
Oh, you need that. I'm telling you. And yet it's not normal. Na a year kuramusa a year averagely say we the anya kura for a month a year per week could be between 3 and 6
every week,
sometimes 8. They are directly party for na so spend oh dear they come obo and sakura meet between 500 and 1,000 depending saying and chan me to away nka ho wo de wen ko every week. School fees, accommodation, in the hospital, me say, and you one, and yes, be at 2 minutes. And then maybe Sabagana has say, every place you move, or up a beacon, no maybe go, Sameboa. And the baby a bit drew be a politician will be any mono. She can't show more when some. And yet the way I'm not saying is the best. Okay, so I don't be nice quiet. Okay, so business quiet. You only also call no incentives. You also have to keep quiet.
Yeah.
And to so pass over MP. Sabe, at the same time, your say, Yenianum Biwo, PhD, Omia professor, Omia masters, Omakati, because Omia Juma, Ninkrofa, me respect to Omoka say lecturers, teachers, nurses, doctors, farmers, all more health and education. Mr. Lutu was Omo Brogan, Hapa, and Kano, Omakati, yes,
true.
But the point is, Obia, at a 87 as a 97, 91, or just say, mini problem. I can also be the any say. No, so about no. No one shall say.
Easier now.
It be a net gain, saying, Obi or per chance when your position being tino. Maybe I don't be a play baby.
Yeah.
But if it's regular politician, the money that comes from you to people, boss, what they offer, Bakasa, and just simple. Now, pa, man, oh boy, back. No started recording me there for 3 months. No family, Rebecca said, maybe I'm Bokro, no baby. I'm not the only person. People should manage these things. So sometimes you expected too much. this will be her. Oh, politician and an old chika and ways as if say tiki namwe me namwe ebi avan say Haruna namwe okujoto namwe enti your patches apart from politics no yenye adwuma bia. You understand what I'm saying? Ubeko social media kufu di watemu ti aboa jimi o make don pe nya gu so hwe mi ami nua ba ko efiri kumase o wa ha for be 8 months dey be odidi matem o attack me o kan sem gu mi so anya say ya no kro o ye no crofoti obi ehu me kram send message man boss o man ka hwe o pa ma me fa no court na me react because I have every right to also react and he knows that me mete pa because me react o be react pa just am pese me bua no o ti ase ono enu ase no echi yeso o push say me ya tu che me nsa bonsu no me constituency nye bi ntia me boss enanya no ne ye beka but ma me 1 minute me constituency less than 1.5 years me nka say I'm the best but obi nka nchem so a first timer what me ma enkra 2,200 enkonya transfer all secondary schools in Ishiaso say me bo mu tie me
how many are them
computers
secondary schools near bear saying
I think 5 or 4
okay
computers and printers go and ask them me MP smoke ma me school JHS for no printing ko aka ni ntimi and the machine they printing ma exam question mass
ma fix it
Asante ya tobi Odi anoto nchan a kokwada so estate school bi o make because they are there MP me where my pocket to they make can quite a common winning matiti committees a me common fund and me get fund ne say me say me mfa me nsan ka check up me wie MP eti me committees e bi assistant headmaster say ko project when am person ya me jam me ko ke musa ke me for me niska. That's why we are doing all these great things. Schools are me di me music akoshem ma set up academy for the youth. Fair never justify your inclusion. My cran never for UK almost 300,000 Ghana cedis. Namuya way na. Me tia scholarship, ni school fees in there. Me pacho. Ma setting up small ultramodern office Monday to Friday. Oh, how I do call? No, Papa. Me too be can what you. And cry. Yam more machines and the misika, but through my own initiative. Oh, a deep pama dear tire. Episode ya tire no. Almost 300 listening now. Less than 1.5 years. Then somebody said somewhere, no do attempt, no go anymore say, so I tell you
somewhere say, on radio and
of course, TV radio, you know, on YouTube, kwa o di matama minya ni hwi wi and small kaso nya no kre
in Kumasi or Accra.
Accra have a the whole Ghana.
Okay.
Me react here. Then they say media is under attack. Media is
our media person.
Do you get my point?
Yeah.
Why do you say things that are not true about somebody? Why do you want to provoke somebody? Say, oh, person false one and the contokwa. Onya oshi. On you, into the media guy now pay me ya. Come on to Swansea, Korea, Juma Mayo. Minka say my ye be broso. Say the first time MPD anamo. Minya minister, minya obia.
But do you agree? So maybe, just maybe, there is growing pressure on Asante region MPs, especially Kumasi MPs.
We mean can't me come so as make one thing. Media guy what here?
Oh no, mean him.
Me bow, I no single me out every day. Near me and you true crowd no did matter the station in TV so. But what I'm saying is that I'm telling you the things, some of the things.
Why?
Me look. And cry me tini bo amadinya scholarship mu kwabu. What's a scholarship payment delay? Some of them had to change money into pounds to go and pay the accommodation. Boss, obiti baby no. Anya say me osika bruso. Anya say me osika bruso. Me projects are me here me near my man from Krabrem me toka 97. Na me abofra. Say me ba ha kra me swa. Me ne tonye dunum na me de me ka ba. It is sometimes people think when you're doing politics you don't work. And people also don't get close to find out or time I know sell. Then career media guy no ko konso na wa frame me. E dey no dey no why no ko check it if I haven't done online.
Yeah.
Now first time with all the hardship in the world, with all the problems we have as a country economically. Now me to make provisions for 2,200 people and young children in Moscow to get a place to sit. Oh, my constituency. You sit somewhere and insult me because license to insult and attack and disgrace people and say whatever you want. me koka bi abaka say oh arrogant politician ni say and then they won't even kasa. No wonder na dum power no sabi criminal libel law or repeal and a type and a right to information bill what at least one year pass it to make a step whether it's being functioning properly or not grand yes say or no on the time and one man be there suffering all times sometimes I don't understand our society because people can sit down concoct stories build conspiracies and destroy people but what I'm saying is that I thought that people should get closer and understand issues, get the right variables.
What's happening on the ground?
Exactly.
I get
not say what if now we inciting Crawford. What I will be to within a time. Any person winning a new so about Brazil. By all standards. Ebia de minim found some sunya politics. Nam se be babontia. Ebia wow. But me de minuano to menka assembles. But don't provoke me at all. Say the opposite unyano. Onyako bebo. Oh tiame oh me. Ongu menima sia na meka chense se nyame wo wiase a one day or no na ketu emfi me ho
efi mate me da say Atik wait a moment pick you initial comment okay say me nko wa me a Greek minister die na wo bi ka efa ho ma minti o
yidi kan ma mincha iti fo nyina enne na mincha me nua sika me hu na che nyambeboa me a misu me boa
honorable nie you watch
me nye honorable eja mona moyo
fans aye de mo
but na nka me na mpese meka bibi efa hu kitwe bi then we go to the main issues. Lady can sometimes I think it is the politicians who create high expectations no sebi to become an MP in this country is costlier than BBR. And because of the way our manual for a year or more parliamentary campaigns, the electors have lost sight of the obligations of an MP. Oh, Debia Adiwe ya can say if our decentralization arrangements no okay Juma, there would be little pressure on our MPs. But essence say and Shadan Juma no and those at the lower levels no are not elected no. I quite to say of course Obia or MC Minka say but let me say majority of them ultimately or she say or no subenya kwan akọ parliament. So oye Juma no na or to try MP no so the name essence say once you allow once you do the things that you're supposed to do no it takes some pressure off the MP. Until a man for emfa pressure to no so and they might think so oh yeah dear. But MC you know and a DC now per se or two no would deliberate sometimes they withhold resources. And sometimes no more on him say oh we assembling a so yeah. Omunye now and of course electors vote for they ask and they demand accountability from that whom they vote for. What you must say? Until if they voted for you say DC the omuti hono didn't buy. So that person they vote for no and they think he's the one who should be answerable to them. You hardly find people going to the assembly. MP na ombe fret na also neketua sabi enya ahibia but would also try to do certain things. And once you start once Kahun is Uyama area A, area B for so demand you can't see them in this askano. And secondly, so omu campaigns now, soon shabo. They say things they know very well say do not fall within the limits of their obligations. And yeah, MP, you must say, kwan way ye no who be china who be saying I meant me lobby mama beye. And you see that is me lobby mama beye. You do not control it. You do not own that decision. The decision to do near ukaze like near usi ubekwa lobby no. The ultimate decision rests with the minister. Nti in promising no, you don't clarify say oh me ba me kwa kosre na nyame ya adom ma ya ma. Ubeka so me ba de oh MP otis with de kwan ya eda ho ya say for how many years you onya me ba nyame ya adom meye. Meye no due time na a mo demand say be ye no. Then you be like oh say MPs there minister Makono hosa but you didn't tell them say one kan jom say enye wo na wo sa to me no na musu kosre. So sometimes we need to be measured in the promises we give to the electors, especially when people are running to become parliamentarians. But politics of insults there, can't. And it should be a time. I prefer to have a debate with Obi on issues. To say, nipa no betnas ya, assume like, let's issue a while, let's discuss it. Sebi, nimdia kakra wono, chewadrin, mamisumim chemadrin. If you disagree with Obi, an officer Obi cram one number, there are smart ways to go about it. But naked insults are 10 years there, and for baby, simple, you have strong issues with the way I all run in the constituency now. Bring up the issues, confront him, engage him. Say, if my understanding of New York is correct, I say a media man. Invite Nipano, give the person the opportunity to respond to your concerns. But to assume, say, because you have a platform, oh, say if you assume, say, because you have a platform, no. Say you assume, say, because you have a platform, no, you can run. I think say in
it's not proper. I think we have to elevate.
No, the conversation. The political discourse needs to be elevated.
Because one day,
you see, the point is,
and it's also this quest for trends.
Yes, you see, social media
numbers, and
we hear
fire. Oh, and I make
no, he's making a point. No, he's making a point. But anyway,
I know them crop painting. Some fatika. Min good animasia. Obi koko no. Obi a bit more react to you. But
anyway.
Ghana the nyaminti ensi mi say minti menye memusum nyame. Menyo srabofo. Once a UK almost every time somebody is stabbed.
Anyway. No, I know.
Almost every week, every day. Sometimes, because what people say, on over who send free, we are saying, on your share.
Anyway, but back to the
issue. You don't want to go in there.
Maybe I'm a Greek minister or can send me brave. Me send you a message, but I didn't get the chance to send you a follow-up. Okay, says so far 2.6 billion has been expended on
fertilizer and
seedlings. But the content of my question sought to find out, in total, the entire planting for food and jobs, Sika saying na abedu omunsem
for 5 modules.
So take the entire program. Okay. I said you divide the program into. Do you call it modules or modules?
Modules.
Okay. So 5 modules, are just means to make you achieve objects of the program. And to make the entirety of the program, Sika do saying and now coming since 2017. And I'm okay. Because we don't do cost benefit analysis. And also now cost efficiency is the only way we can say, program we dear, how much you put in and how much you get out. But Oshada he singled out only seeds and fertilizer. And also 2.6 billion has been received, and I like to suspect say expended also, or more like that's how much they spent also on seeds and fertilizer. No? And that we now have 50 billion
in terms of value of food every month.
So what is the source of that figure?
Data, no.
50 billion worth of food. No, how do you describe? How do you measure that? Is it calculation of how much we've like taken food or more harvest here, stock of food and you talk about I don't know how that quantification is done to come up with a huge figure of 50 billion. No, 50 billion cedis is a very significant percentage of our total GDP. And yes, so now, how did that quantification come about? But there's also in data analysis that we often say correlation is not causation. It is very well said that there could be some. In fact, not that there could be. There is correlation between some investment in planting for food and jobs, and probably an increase the growth in agric, But you cannot say emphatically say. That is what has caused it.
Say 8.4% growth, because of PMP.
Absolutely, you cannot say that. To be able to say Adiwe, this variable is what causes that, you would have to conduct some empirical study to be able to do that. Meaning, if such a study has been done, and to say, because of planting for food and jobs, we are recording that growth in agric. Correlation is necessarily not causation. I do concede, there is correlation in that expenditure. And then the output, growth. But and yeah, Nuna entirely explains why, you know, and you know, how he came to that emphatic conclusion, say, and Nama, you know, agricultural etumpon. And the issue of pricing. He mentioned, say, Nyoma Bina Ama prices of food, I agree with some of them, but some of them I don't agree. Okay, say, energy, which of course, anytime
fuel cost.
Fuel cost. Anytime you know, fuel prices affect prices of almost all goods. But he also attributed it to profiteering.
Profiteering year one. And the cost of input production.
Good.
Yeah.
Input cost. What are the major inputs into agricultural production? Fertilizer and seeds.
And seeds, no.
Seeds no are locally produced.
And then they subsidized. They buy subsidized.
I'm trying exactly. So no and shada nye dimbisa. Fertilizer no is what we largely produce. I mean import. Sorry.
Import, yes.
And I say what we can do with, you know, gas. No. We can get fertilizer from it. We flare some of it until Ghana gas by now. You flare your gas no. Until there are several byproducts. I bet me free oil and fanguna you know Western region. Yes. There are so many things. Until I say started doing, you know, along those lines. But I disagree with the attribution of input cost. Sorry. As being a driver of the current prices, because Adriane ye this is here, and ye Adriano this season you na ye di no. Adriane ye last year, and no na ye gusu ye this ye wo farming season mo. Ye nya harvesti. Enti sa Adriane na ye planted this year. Ye nyam fa ehun Adriane. Enti last year Adriane no na ye koso a ye di no. Enti se fertilizer a driver of the current prices now. Then I started to think how prices of fertilizer last year. We had it. There wasn't scarcity of fertilizer because there was no war in 2021. And I'm just wondering how that is a major factor in the computation of food prices in 2022. And the attributing factor, input cost going up, which is fertilizer, no, to the reason why prices are cost no. Because Eduana Yedin says no, Ebro Yedin says no, Enya Fi Ebro na Yedi. Unless you know about Eduana Yed Tunton Fi Ebro na Yedi. But another issue, and sometimes ministers are trouble with some of the figures he throws about. Okaze omuko markets. Oh, maybe we are betting market. Or see omuko 9 markets. And Omuko can kind backs ahead the honum. He came up with 23,000 metric tons.
27,000.
Oh, hey, mikra mitiso
of a brew. At Tapoli Kataso.
Meanwhile, poultry farmers catcher say there isn't enough. You even read a text via omu imported biba.
But I don't know, he disputed it because I said on my license
you see,
for anybody to import.
He's talking about officially. Say on my license behind, but you know him say import is animal. Import as uncle can't say import. It could be illegal, but I'm not sure say obi be shut out of the way if they say enough a brewer now a koboka say or import biaba. Me sure say bibisa basi. Nti let me say sometimes as say careful kakra the way we paint this picture. Obianka say nobody profits from a gloomy situation, and you don't profit anything by painting a gloomy picture. Nemum nukren wo ha eseka. Newman bi wo ha scarcity ka ho until the prices no ekosoro no.
Scarcity.
Yes, it may not be acute, but there is scarcity. Ultimately here, I don't want to use the word shortage, but there is scarcity of ebro and other crops.
How about this point, sir? The scarcity is in the urban center because the food egu farm gates.
Meba and 2022 nkwana ye started di aduane wakra.
Dabi.
We've always been getting food and aduane say akra himfa na aduane. Ye ndua ebro ana in the quantities are be kai. Akra de ebinga nti de bia we rely on aduane be free stream and farm gates naba. What is here? And then 2022 nkwana ye start say ye di aduane wo ana ebro wo akra and other crops. So you should ask yourself, why is it that in 2021 we didn't have that surge in pricing? And this is elementary Nyamabi. You see, they are attributing it to profiteering. Ghana is a free market economy. And if demand does not outstrip supply, if you increase your prices, demand for it will be low. No, mm-hmm. It is only when you have, if the market environment is such that still are better, that is what drives you to increase your price. But unim say tumwa asume si de on tundim. At the end of the day, never see was because I didn't know. Now you decide that you want to profit, you want to earn up super abnormal profits. Now to tumwa obi ambaho embeto. But if demand is way more than supply no, utumwa still a man for beto. And you can't look. This is not a controlled economy. I'll bet you, like I said, let's have price ceilings. You can't have price ceilings until obia bet me charge the way up, given the market forces and market dynamics. Until my view is that Ekosiisen is not necessarily profiteering, but there is some scarcity. It may not be acute as of now, but there is scarcity. Until I'm say how much we've invested and how much since 2017 up till now.
And it returns are
and 50 billion worth of food. That's the monetary value.
Yes.
50 billion. And you see, that is, you can equate it to saying 50 billion.
And that is even on the 5 grains are the main
of the program no.
Jobs.
Until 50 billion imagine no. And yes, Kakuma. At the end of it, these are incomes. They will be different factor incomes. If, for example, Obi Oha, I'm going to Mina me do phone. Me we na me ton me jisikani bi. Oni obeba beto akoton no so. Ono so benya income no kakra. At the end of the day, that means there is 50 billion more injection into the economy. That's what it means. Now, I say 50 billion from 5 crops kekempo. That is significant. But who shared Myanmar Ekosiisen, I do not entirely believe say
does that reflect in the 8.4% growth in agric numbers no?
I think there is some growth in the crop subsector, no doubt about it. But quantities are what I have issues with. Of course, like I said, buying a subsidized fertilizer
there is some growth.
There will be some, but we cannot say ama agric etumpon. There may be, and indeed there are many other factors ama agric etumpon. And finally, I want to this maybe because we have other issues. The other bit about Okase they are trying to get banks to invest
because
in
3.4% of bank loans are modema and they call into agric. Enumpono majority LBC is not toko no. But real agric the omum meska.
Do you know why? These are profit-making institutions, and Okabibi are 3.4% of all loans,
and they call into agric. From the bank.
Yes. You see, you can't legislate on business decisions of companies.
That government thinks, okay, from loans, 10% and going to agric. You cannot do that.
No, why? I choose where I want to invest in. That's why it's called a business. Until you tell me, say, oh, what if I don't find it profitable? You can
start with the state banks.
No, that you see, even so, these are, of course, they are state banks, but you can only say, all right, state banks, but begin to diversify your focus areas, and no. It is not necessarily say a bit profitable, but maybe it's a social cost. It is to achieve a certain purpose. And the board decide, okay, we invest this much, and not necessarily say a profits. But be our setting the bank up so per profits. They don't find it profitable because Nipano, if they your mouse can now dria a bruno, you would want to expand your production. Tina loan.
Yes.
Who buys the produce? Company yet say they should be buying excess produce, no. Says here they no more. They are limiting them to just providing and distributing food crops to state institutions. Meanwhile, the idea of buffer, you cap buffer stocker. It is when you buy excess stock from the market and sell, back if there's shortage, in order to keep prices stable.
But he says we don't even have a buffer stock in Ghana.
Now, Enamike says, company, they need to make sure that is what you should be doing. That was the idea. But they see a school feeding program,
they only give license to suppliers or modern commerce schools.
That's
our buffer stock. So we don't have a buffer stock properly so called.
The idea of the National Buffer Stock Company was to do near Mika Chewy.
Yes.
One prices are if we had a proper functioning buffer stocker, and our prices of food would be stable. Because the idea of a buffer stock is to buy when there's excess and sell when there's shortage, so that you stabilize prices. But the idea, buffer stock
we don't have a buffer stock. The Greek minister has been categorical. I mean, we said about 3 times. Or say it is there in name. We don't have a buffer stock.
Adino is under. They work with the ministry. Why must it be in name?
No, he says they've now kick-started the processes. They want to set up an authority. The authority will manage.
And you see,
yes.
I think it's a buffer stock.
I
think the meaning part say you create a situation of food storage that is actually that makes up for prices, food price variations. It is can care what buffer stocker very functional. That's why I agree to what Miniane can. And aduane adigu a senka aduane boy ya di
na we
then you sell. That's it.
Na price no
exactly. That is the
by nibi
and the make it's under
it's not functioning.
Which
means by the okay nibi ampa.
Well, I agree. But me say me can say this it falls directly under his purview.
Yes.
And enya fe na obeba lament say it's not functional. You've known this since 2017. And who come website now? They tell you actually.
It's under buffer stock under Greek.
It's under Greek. They work. Greek is one of their partners. I don't know.
The exact ministry.
No, it's an agency. It must be under a certain. It's under Greek. Well, ETF of course. No program.
The CEO
under education.
No. They are not supplying anything. They have a working relationship with Ministry of Education.
Organizational chain.
It will be more likely a Greek than education.
It's a Greek.
It has to, but whether it is.
It is. It is. But they have working partners. Fact, yes. But they have working partners. And I'm saying, sir, from 2017 he's known. Say Adi and Yejuma the way I say. What do you do? Because the way we are complaining about prices, this is the timer.
You hear about faster.
Absolutely. But when him no my says here, I quite to say. Buffer stocky, we supply food only to Nkrofua schools that are under the free senior beneficiaries of South Police. Neja, they are food soldiers. Udi go and supply Kakrama, we supply night until it becomes a way of sorting and settling and compensating aggrieved food soldiers. But the functions required by that you can say the functions are SSR company so since me. Like we do sometimes.
We seem to generally as a country have a problem with companies that was a creative buffer.
Yes,
you look at Bost.
Yes,
the same problem.
You get so yeah, exactly. So all companies that are supposed to be providing buffer, and he's suggesting that having another authority. So we are creating another bureaucracy, and you're discussing we have to even go and borrow from Afrexim and Kinina Sanima. When you account imprudent expenditures, because size of government maybe not waba because there were major issues. Now who do time complaining about Obi or attacking whatever?
Don't worry.
You see. Why am
is not all bureaucracies
good? Because the size of government, there's a relationship. In fact, it's a stylized fact. Say, you can say size of government is an increasing function of government's expenditure. Near HN say, the bigger your government, the more government's expenditure. Until yes, I could another author. Oh yes.
That's not true. It's not really.
Or say the size of
size, the bigger the size, the more no.
The more government expenditure. About its right?
It doesn't necessarily. It doesn't necessarily.
Okay. You
would
advance your
argument.
Over advance your argument.
Like, I can have.
What
that mama mean? 200 staff.
Yeah.
But salary, I made my house spend on you in emoluments in the Odisika. It could be bigger than this.
Very well.
That's what I'm saying.
You see.
Okay.
No, Nyabutre. You see, when I say government size is an increasing function of government expenditure, is what it simply refers to. Say, if you have a huge size of government, obia fan say averagely, obia I'm just.
It's even the other way.
Nyabutre. Fan say averagely, obia you omuye 10, omuye 10. Na averagely, uti obia 2 cities. Okay, then the number increases to 20. Then all things remaining constant, which your 2 cities no. Between 20 cities and 40 cities, which one is bigger? The expenditure on government side, on government employees, between 20 and 40 near Hineson. What you say?
Yeah.
And that's precisely the point I'm trying to establish. And he said, yeah, the authority yaba. Naba stock companies who ho. What you say? Afi and also when we could just improve on the functions of Ghana Buffer Stock Company, National Buffer Stock Company. No, until these are some of the things that I could do happen. And going forward, no, me so kesikrane near BC in 20, like getting to the end of this year in 2023, because I feel we muna yen fertilizer the way I say no. That is where my a hokrana me so chain near year experiencing is here, because inputs ni bi wo hwa ye kraba bebre na ye kraba ya ntimi ankra ebiamba because production stopped in countries or largest producers no nti afekra na be hu ehun sunsanso nti if last year there was no shortage of fertilizer and there is scarcity imagine ABC getting to the end of this year and early next year.
Atik Mohammed any attain and Ekosiisen soni na yeguso eka agrek nsem there. There is this information I was saying mamu ehume pacho we know away from agrek say we Tyler na wutie me a message will be you asometie we amame say ope tile and marble adhesives papa grout waterproof chemical and anti-salt neutralizer and especially more motor tiles no we mason we tiler me patcho me can fu JB Forge Profix tile and marble adhesives no at the amount they are highly polymer based product na ya shada aye to suit the climate in Africa and the Profix range of products no over the years are trying they are testing a quality and I born so assign a year into house owners project managers, tilers, ye come for at the mamo. Your products nyina so are approved by the Ghana Standards Authority. JB Forge, our tema community 9. Your number will be friend. We are tiler now per tiles, papa. Any tile adhesives, papa. Waterproof chemical and anti-salt neutralizer. Grout, papa na opatoa. Friend number 0554 54 54 54 0554 54 5455. I said, Koyen retailers, I work Cantamanto Tema Enclave, East Legon, Weija, Oyarefa, Takrade, Kumasi, Sogakope, Agbozome, and a Denu or Flow. A free delivery, Ewo Accra and a Tema. Profix, or see Ide Catch, Rough. Obapa products in South Africa Queen Mackerel, Obapa Sardine, Obapa Tomato Paste, Bomodine Pebito, O Rap Provision Store, Bia Obinya Biatu, Nyabi Wofie, na Emuao. Open the door to our friend 0302 668357 na unso pebi eto roofing sheet papa edini ba ko pe Rockstars roofing sheet Ghana had the roofing manufacturing company of the year award no onwaja to aso miensa solid company men Canada Rockstars your premium quoted 55% ALZN aluminium coated and aluminium plain sheet ne nyinaa ebi ɛwɔ hɔ. Yɛsan yɛ metal trusses. Yɛyɛ free estimate as well as free transport to locations within Accra and Eastern region. Yɛbɛyɛ estimate we yɛbɛtwa kyɛnsee na ma within 3 to 5 working days. Solid. Rockstars Roofing. Ɔmo yɛ brutal. Me in Canada frɛ 0544 338041. Now no any enkomo.